This conference will now be recorded.
Before we begin, we must provide a disclaimer that the following information provided is not investment advice. Our methods, teachings, and content are for educational purposes only. All materials and lessons are protected assets of Market Making Strategies LLC. Any plagiarism or sharing of our content is strictly prohibited, and any violators are subject to applicable laws. Now that that's done, good morning, everyone. Hope you lot have had a good start to your morning, although it is very early on, depending on where you are. So let us get right into it. So we have a few stocks that have movement, have what we need. And our first one, in fact, will be QUBT. Now, QUBT yesterday had lots and lots of build. I said in aftermarket, it looks like it's going to make its move then because of the way I watched it short-term acquire throughout the afternoon and going into close. Well, it did not disappoint and it went above 4 in aftermarket. Now, since 8 o'clock, there's been absolutely nothing but exceptional buy, and everything is buy. There is no sell. So with that being said, we now know this is currently trading as an exceptional build. When the market opens, two things can happen. If it continues its exceptional build, then we know that we've got a near-term target of 4, but realistically, nobody is building what they built not only now, but yesterday and throughout market for simply 4. We can keep that as a conservative to see if it will continue to build underneath 4 and cap its move in the short term, or if it's ready to continue, and the target would definitely be 5, and that's also a psychological level and a magnet that would draw it to it. Now, it can open and the exceptional build might not occur. It might want to pull back, and it could be easily pull back to this 340 level, which seems to be rather strong, or it could continue to build sideways. So remember, exceptional build requires exceptional volume and nothing but buying. They must use all the volume to buy all the shares available. So in regards to even in the exceptional buying, it has been printing at every level, including 350 and 360 especially. So between 350 and 360, I've seen ridiculous amounts of buy, but overall, it's just all buy. So we got a 4 conservative target. I would assume it's going to continue with this exceptional build. If it releases, even better, because then that we know that the chance of 4 really holding it up could be limited, and we could be looking at a overall target of 5. Number 2 is IONQ. IONQ, as you can currently see, is not doing anything. When we look into prints, there's not much. We had 2 of these at 28. That is absolutely not going to cut it. These 92s, basically not doing anything. And we've seen this with IONQ typically happen in pre-market. But what we don't want to forget, is at 27 yesterday was a lot of buying. I saw myself 5 different sets of prints at 27, which means it hit 27 5 times and bought from when I watched it. I'm assuming there was a lot more, and there was certainly a lot more buying underneath. So with that being said, that type of buying for 27, knowing that its range is about $4 average, as we can see in the top left corner, this is easily looking at a overall target of 30. So if it comes back down to around 27, volume comes and it starts kicking in, you know we have the buying at 27. We know how strong 27 is. And going back to a question we had in Traders Exchange, this is where they built a house. They built a house at 27. So it would make the most sense if this was to trade long today, it would come down and come right off 27. So I would be keeping an eye on 27. If it comes below 27 with volume, with selling, with short positions, then you know it is pulling back from the massive buy at 27 and possibly going to build just for a short term underneath. If it bounces off, then you know what it's going to do. BTCS. Now, I saw a lot of buying in BTCS in the 30s, 43, 60. So a lot of it here, this was just ugly. This was an ugly pullback bar. And if you look at the overall pre-market, it's got dirty long bars. It's got ugly trading. So one thing you always keep in mind when you're already seeing a familiar story is just accept that that's going to be how it looks in the open. So you got to be very patient and see, are they going to be trading it like this? Are they going to be using a lot of traps to take shares? Or is the volume going to be enough for them to be clean? Now it's got 18 million shares traded. How many more shares would you even need for it to at least show that it wants to trade clean? So although this is nice buying, and you can see the 490, the 488, I mean, this is all good, great buying. It's had lots of buying in this area, like I told you. My only concern with, is it going to be a clean trade? Because it doesn't matter how much buying is in a stock. If it's not trading clean, that just makes it far, far more difficult to trade. So always remember, yes, we have a lot of high percentage setups available in front of us, but make sure you also want to trade a clean trading stock with clean control, not these ugly bars, not these traps. It just makes it a lot harder for no reason. So the next one, so with this one being said, apologies. As I told you, the buying has been in the 530s, 543, 560, lots of acquiring, lots of alignment of short-term market makers. The first target obviously would be 6. Why? It's close to the high. We can see that what's happened is when every time it's hit 6, you're getting these dramatic bars all the way down. So we want to keep it at 6. As you approach 6 and you're coming towards 580, I would start being defensive straight away. Why? Because they've shown you already that they can have ugly bars. They have no problem stealing shares. So you don't want to get caught in that. Because if you get caught at the wrong moment and you're not paying attention, you could easily get a bar that just comes all the way down and just ruins the work that you've done. So be mindful in this type of stock. Number 4, UAVS. UAVS is one that I actually do like. I have seen some really, really nice spurts. For 341 was about 12 spurts, and that is seriously nice. There was lots of prints. Also at 40, at 30, just a lot of beautiful buying between this 320 and 340 range. Again, it's all short term. I haven't seen controlling prints. Even those 40 ones, as big as they are, that's more giving you an indication that it needs a quick build on it. But those would be more of a now type prints, short term prints. And with that being said, we have not hit 50. So I wouldn't expect 50 really to get in the way, considering all I've seen is short term. So if it plays within the same print personality as short-term prints, we should have a fairly quick move to 4. Again, this is coming back down. You really need it to hold 3. As we can see from here, and we can see that from when the volume started coming back in, it held 3. So you want it to hold 3. If it starts breaking 3 in key levels, especially where triggers have come in, then you know that market makers are no longer holding it up. That means that their work might be done. So always pay attention to key levels. Key levels tell you if market makers are still actively controlling the stock in a certain phase. So those are the 4 that I've seen. I've looked around. I did see a few other things, but they're just not worth talking about. If anyone has a stock that I've missed, please tell me and I'll have a look at it right now. Is there anything that I have missed? Okay, if there's nothing that I have missed, we have these 4: QUBT, IONQ, BTCS, UAVS. I hope you wrote down some notes. Remember, as we always say, be patient. Let the trade unveil itself to you. It will come. On all 4 of these, plan your options. Plan the high percentage option and what if it does not work out in that instance, what that would look like. Have also a plan for your near-term target and your overall target, so that way you can extend and manage your trade correctly. Everyone have a lovely morning, and I will speak to you in the chat. Thank you.